Hey guys and girls, I wanted to do a video about the age-old question in arm wrestling. Is strength or technique more important? I like this question and enjoy the debate, but I think there are more factors to add to this puzzle. But let's start by looking at the question in its most simplest form, and then go from there. Let's make a couple of assumptions. If we have two pullers who are equally technical, the stronger of the two will likely win. If we have two pullers who are equally strong, the more technical of the two will likely win. Or at least, in these cases, they will have the advantage. It doesn't seem like much of a stretch for these two statements to be true. All other things being equal, an edge in either technique or strength could be enough to get the win. But what about when an edge in technique goes up against an edge in strength? That is the crux of the conversation, technique versus strength. A weaker but more technical puller versus a strong but less technical puller. When it is strength versus technique, there is a tipping point where one would eventually beat the other. For example, if we look at the match between Levan and Devon, Devon is seen as having superior technique, Levan is seen as having superior strength. The superior strength was the winner on that day. Now look at the match between Kurtagali and Irakli. Kurtagali is seen as having superior technique, Irakli is seen as having superior strength. This time, superior technique was the winner. What this may show us is that when the strength gap is so big, like in the Devon versus Levan match, technical advantage is irrelevant. But when the strength gap is a little closer, like in the Kurtagali versus Irakli matchup, the technical advantage trumps the strength advantage. So it seems we have a possible answer. Whether strength or technique is more important could depend on exactly how much more strength you have or how much better your technique is than your opponent. There is a tipping point where one trumps the other. But of course it's not that simple. This is arm wrestling. Arm wrestling doesn't only involve strength and technique. There are many other abilities that pullers may possess that can greatly influence their chance of victory, and muddies up the strength versus technique debate. When you add in such factors such as reaction time, speed, endurance, genetics, heart, and mental preparation and fortitude, you start to realize that there are so many variables, it can't just be about strength versus technique. It is more about how many of those areas you have the advantage in, and do those advantages outweigh your opponent's advantages. Let's look at an example to illustrate another one of these factors. In the Dave vs Gennady match, Dave is seen as stronger and Gennady better technically. Dave went 2-0 up with his superior strength, making any technical advantage of Gennady irrelevant. But in the third match, we saw that endurance started to become a factor. Gennady's superior endurance, along with his technical prowess, allowed him to get back into the match. In other words, due to Dave's endurance being at a lower level, the strength gap leveled out and Gennady started to take over and ended up winning the match. Once that gap in strength was even, the technical ability took over. The deciding factor in this match was endurance. Dave had the advantage in strength, Gennady had the technical advantage, but the endurance factor decided the match. But again, it comes down to the sum total of advantages and how relevant each advantage is against your opponent. Devon had the endurance advantage over Levan, but the strength gap was such that the endurance didn't come into it. But that is where I will leave this video. Strength and technique may be the two most important factors, but they are only part of the package. Let me know what you guys think. What do you see as the most important factors when it comes to winning an arm wrestle? And what do you guys focus on the most? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Cheers.